This is the Deps Gain Element Spinning Rod. That's right. The family of rods is going to be called Gain Element. I only know of one other model besides this particular model we're going to bend today that's coming to market here soon that Omnia will have hopefully early this summer. But this particular model, the first Deps rod we're going to carry here at Omnia, is for, you guessed it, the Sakamata shad. Our most popular shaking minnow in the smallest sizes, the 4-inch size. And I also think like a 3-inch drift fry, this really small minnow baits that people are shaking now. This is an ideal rod for that. And you can tell right away when you pick it up, the tip on this rod is so crazy light that I can see why they would call it a light shaking rod. It takes absolutely zero effort to make this rod tip shake like crazy. I mean, you could do this all day long and never get fatigued. And the rod, as you can imagine, is insanely lightweight. It is 3.4 ounces, which is light. This thing feels really light in hand. I love the reel seat on it. It's growing on me huge. I saw the way the handle was designed and I didn't think much of it when it showed up, but hanging on to it here for a day or two and playing with it and shooting stuff with it, I'm really, really digging this thing. It's a very understated rod aesthetic-wise. You think JDM, you think some like cool stuff all over the rod, some kind of wild componentry, and it's very understated and undertoned rod, but man, if you get up close, you do see the little hits. This is a 2-piece rod. It's just like a real JDM rod. It is jointed here at the handle, so the blank actually slides into the handle. That's where it comes apart instead of up in the middle of the blank. So you do get like a true crazy cool action out of this rod. It is a 6.5 light power R bend, regular bend, moderate action, however you want to say it. I will say when you got line on it and you just go to bend it, it feels like the tip's like almost like a stinger tip. It feels like a solid tip, but when you actually load the rod up and you bend it pretty good, man, the whole thing keels over. It feels like almost a panfish rod. So very different for us here in a bass fishing shop to be playing with this rod. It's a little bit different action than I'm used to, especially even in the shaking stuff where I've seen the rods shining for us anyway have been sort of the stiffer backboned quick tip rods, solid tip rods, stinger tip rods. That has shined for us so far, the employees here and even the anglers we've been talking to that are really good at doing this. So let's go bend the Deps Gain Element 6.5 light regular bend on the wall, see how it does. Deps Gain Element, the 6.5 light power regular bend, and we'll just load it up slow. And yeah, this thing's about as moderate regular bend as you can get it. Hold on, let me tighten up the drag here. I'm a little nervous having the drag super tight on this rod. It does feel light powered, it does. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's getting addictive to pick this rod up and play with it here at the office. When they say light shaking element, they mean basically you could just take this rod and basically you could take your fingertip and pop the rod and you're making the tip move like inches. It's insane how easy it is to shake the tip of this rod. If you were trying to impart a little bit of action on a tiny little minnow bait, 50 feet, 100 feet out from the boat, 10 feet down on your scope staring at it, if you could see it that well, this would be the rod to do it, right? This would be the perfect rod to impart that action on it. Makes me nervous on how I would set the hook and fight the fish because the rod's so light powered and it's got this moderate action to it. But I'll tell you, the more you hang onto the rod, the more confidence inspiring it is because it does feel really nice in hand. I can't explain it until you're actually holding on to it. It's making me more and more think it justified wanting to buy this thing. Even though I've had way more luck fishing, at least where I live, with the bigger minnows, with 5, 6, 7-inch minnows, and even 8-inch minnows. But the 6s and 7s have been where I've really had the most luck. So getting down to those small ones, the more people do this technique, especially even on our bodies of water way up north where they get less pressure than down south, I think this type of rod and those type of baits are going to be what ends up shining more and more is those smaller minnows. So this is a rod designed specifically for 3 and 4-inch little tiny minnows and doing that scope and stuff with it. So mid-strolling with a tiny minnow. Check out this Gain Element from Deps if you're in the market for a tiny little